here we go.
Okay. Now you're buying it.
We're going through the cemetery, folks.
Gotta hold your breath, I guess. I'm not into that whole superstition thing. I'm not superstitious. I'm only a little stitious. On today's episode of Watch Chair Go, we are here with my sister who is looking for a new car. Right now she drives the KR and she's looking at buying the SF. What is going on, guys? I'm Watch Chair Go, and like I said, I'm here with my sister Rachel. This is not the sister with the Toyota station wagon.
This is true.
Everybody thinks that you have a station wagon. It's not true at all.
No.
But she's looking for a station wagon. So this is the most perfect car I've ever driven in my life, guys. I'm starting a family today. Tomorrow I'll have 2 kids tomorrow. That way I can put them in my Santa Fe. I know I said my sister's looking for a car, but I am so in love with this car, the most perfect family car I've ever driven in my life, that I need to own this. Anyway, back to Rachel. Rachel's been driving the KR for a long time. Obviously, super nice, just like my truck. Massage, heated, cooled seats, all the stuff you'd expect. Adaptive cruise, but it sure can't steer itself, and neither can my truck. This thing can do everything on the planet. I have yet to find something it doesn't nail. So we're gonna dive right into it with a tour, and then my sister's gonna take it for a spin and see what she thinks about it. I know it looks like black, I don't know, like obsidian. You can't tell what it is out here in the light, but this is the most beautiful green filled with gold and red flake there ever was. It's really hard to see. It just looks like grass right now.
It's definitely a sage.
Is it sage?
Or hunter green. I don't know. Depends on who you are.
All I know is
It's not hunter green.
it's not hunter green, and it has gold and red, and I love it. Let's get into it.
I really don't want a Hyundai because I hate the H.
Oh, the H is so much better than the Kia logo, though. The H is perfection.
No.
And the new Kia logo is so bad
It is very bad.
that you almost have to buy this. I love the Telluride. I love the Palisade. Those were literally perfect, but this is more perfect. And somehow in a more compact package that looks just like a Range Rover. All right. Just like. It looks just like a Defender 90. We'll get to driving the 2024 Santa Fe with the family here in a minute, but first we have to talk about the oddities and functionalities of the redesigned Santa Fe. Now, when this thing came out, the internet went crazy. Everybody said it was beautiful from the front and terrible from the back, and from the very beginning I said, you are wrong. It's perfect. And I stand by my statement, and I still think even the back end of the Hyundai Santa Fe is perfect. It's got a lot of H's in it, and I love it. You got the H in the headlights. Here, we'll flip on the H in the headlights. Look at that. You got the H in the key, which is weird. Let's just stop right here for a second and talk about how the key is not great. So the key is this silver egg. It's the only thing they missed on. It should have been metal or something. I don't understand the silver egg. It's cool, it's got tons of functionality, it works perfectly, remote start. I've remote started it a football field away, it works perfectly. It has an LED right there showing you the status, when it's locked, when it's remote starting, two-way, all that good stuff. It has the summon controls on the side of it, which are really cool. Obviously, we'll get into summon here in just a minute. And then, of course, hold for the trunk. And the other really cool feature, we'll just talk about it while we're talking about the key here, is, I think the car is locked right now. So if I approach the back of the vehicle and just stand here, nothing happens. So if I approach the back of the vehicle and just stand here, this is awesome. Your hands are full, you're holding a camera, you're holding your groceries. Now you can put your groceries in the back, push the button, and walk in and drive your car away. Another really cool thing is, if you didn't notice, these lights turn off when the hatch is open and it switches to the lower lights. And the low lights don't really bother me. They're incredibly bright. These have reflector grids inside them. That was everyone's complaint, is that all these are gonna get rear-ended. You just can't see the lights. Okay, where normal lights are right here, right? And then these lights are down 6 inches. It's really not that big of a deal. And it has the federally required light switching once one set of taillights disappears. So that is really, really cool that it has 2 full sets of brake lights. And I wonder if they do what BMW does, where if you like emergency brake, it probably lights all of them. And of course, the third brake light is super, super visible. Let's not even get into the fact that the third brake light is hiding the wiper, and it's super well done. Everything about this is super well done. All right, let's head back to the front and start talking about the entire car. So we're gonna start under the hood for once, because here in a minute, my sister's gonna complain about the power, and I'm here to say she's wrong. And literally anyone complaining about the power in what is supposed to be a kind of a low-key, chill family hauler and not a race car just shouldn't be. Don't complain about the power. It does just what it's supposed to do. It merges really well, and I think it's 0 to 60. I don't know what it is, but it's probably 6 or 7 seconds, which is more than enough to haul your family around, guys. I know everyone's on this power kick, but honestly, power in ICE vehicles like this, it just doesn't matter anymore, because if you wanted power, you would have just bought an EV. They've got actual power. But this is powered by the very capable 2.5 liter Hyundai 4-cylinder turbo. So it looks like the best packaging I've ever seen in my life under here. This thing makes 277 horsepower and 311 foot-pounds of torque, and beside it, right here, this is front-wheel drive, is an 8-speed dual clutch. Another one of my favorites, near and dear to my heart. I love that Hyundai keeps putting dual clutches in things, and not like the Ford ones. These are wet. So don't worry, you're not gonna have a Ford power shift thing going on. The clutches are bathed in oil and they won't self-destruct the way the Ford ones do. Let's get into the engine bay for just a second here. Coolant reservoir, super easy to work on. Vacuum assist pump for the brakes, super easy to work on. Obviously variable valve timing. You've got your motors right there that run the cam variators. The turbo, super easy to work on. A massive downpipe. That downpipe is like 4 inches. Crazy stuff. Beautiful looking heat shield, obviously easy to service the turbo. The brake guys are out there cutting the garage door into the house right now, so I had to stop talking for a minute. A very interesting clamp on the charge pipe right there, running over to the intercooler. Super easy to work on. Airbox, battery, everything you need to work on is easy to work on. And one of the best things is look at the air filter. So that's actually a latch, it lifts up, and then you flip down these tabs and pull the air filter out and put a new one in. That quick. I mean, you could change the air filter in 30 seconds. Maybe even less if you were quick at getting those tabs. I think it has a pre-filter as well. Fuse box, jump terminals, all easy to get to. I'm not gonna open it because it's gonna need both latches. A little too much work there. And another very interesting thing in the engine bay I wanna show you guys is the oil fill is underneath this. So you pop that off, and you get to take a good look at the engine, and you can get right to the fuel rail, all the connectors. Look how easy it is to service every single inch of this thing. DI pump sitting right back there. Oil fill though, under the cover, 0W30. And of course the ignition coils are right there and easy to access as well. So that is really interesting that you have to pop this cover off to get to the oil. Everybody else puts a hole in it. Engine mount, easy to get to. ABS pump, easy to get to. ECU, easy to get to. Everything in here is so serviceable, and I love that Hyundai just keeps this up. They're so good at designing engine bays that are designed to be serviced. One fun thing is if the AC leaks, it's gonna be expensive. It does have 1, 2, 3, 4 YF. So good luck with that. On to the body of the Santa Fe, and I'll try to make this quick. This is Rockwood Green Pearl. I love the green, love, love, love the green. It's like a darker military green with gold and red in it, and it pops in the sun. So it looks incredible, and it's also got, you know, kind of a stealth thing going for it, kind of a military, also Defender vibe. Obviously it's very Defender. When you see the side profile of it, you're like, that's a Range Rover, but it's a Hyundai, I promise you guys. Let's keep going. I think there's an animation in the front. Let's unlock it. There we go, there's the startup. It's not really animated, but that center light bar looks really, really, really good. The headlights do fade on. They look incredible, LED as you would expect. There's the front camera right there. The active shutters for the grille, which are hyperactive in this car, and I love the way they did that. So we're gonna remote start it real quick just to show you guys one of the coolest things about this. Lock, hold, the remote start. Take a look at that. And then when the car shuts off, oh look, it decided it didn't need them right now. Okay, maybe it's just waving at me today. It wasn't doing that earlier, but that's super funny. The active cooling flaps really add a lot to the front end of the Santa Fe. Of course, the radar or laser for the cruise control is in there, and front parking sensors all the way around. A very handsome looking grille. It's never overstated. It has perfect proportions. They just nailed the front end of the Santa Fe. Over here on the side, we have more parking sensors to make sure, try to keep you away from curbs, whatever you might run into there. 21-inch wheels, which look incredible. Love the design. My sister said they look like the K'NEX balls that expand, and she's right. They look exactly like the K'NEX balls, or those expanding plastic balls that you played with as a kid that turn from a 4-inch sphere into like a 30-inch sphere. These are Pirelli Scorpions that have noise canceling or something like that. There's a mute button right there. Obviously, a whole bunch of driver aids hanging out up here on the windshield. Sorry, this thing's filthy. I have been driving it for 2 days now. I really do have to start a family immediately, so I have a reason to own this thing, because I need this. The Santa Fe logo looks great in black. Obviously, cameras right here on the edges of the mirrors. Turn signals. They're also the indicators for when it's running. Just all kinds of functionality in these mirrors. The blind spot indicator is red, which I love to death. The red gets your attention a little bit better than this little tiny orange light that most cars are running. Now the front doors are a little bit unremarkable, other than they look great, like they absolutely nailed the design. You got a cup holder there, storage, really nice big armrest. Your window controls, which are auto, all the way around, all four. Thank you, Hyundai, for not messing around and giving it like 2 auto windows and some others that aren't. This thing, like the climate turned on by itself, and it doesn't have an electric AC compressor, so it just turned on to kind of pre-cool the cabin. So the fans just turned on. Really nice. But the real star of the show here are the back doors that look incredible because of this. They stuck an extra piece of glass there that makes it look like a big frameless door on an SUV, but it's clearly a normal framed-in window, and this is just an accessory piece that you can see out of. These also do have sunshades for the rear passengers, and they work great, and they cover the whole thing. It doesn't have like a second one that pulls out of the side. So that's the way to do that. You also have heated seats for the rear right there, and 2 cup holders for each passenger in this car. Perfect, Hyundai. You nailed it. Anyway, that's the back door. Right here is one of the craziest things. The internet went wild for this. So there's a lock in here that you have to have a key. That's kind of the unfortunate thing. I haven't found the key. I don't think it pulls out of this. But if we take the key to my Ford, we put it in this slot here where it says unlock, and we turn that to unlock, and then you get this accessory here that's a handle for you to get up on the roof. So it clearly, oh yeah, it's got a whole bunch of drains. It's got drains all the way around it. All the way through the bottom, it has holes drilled, and all the way up the sides, there are holes for this to drain, because some people were worried the water would pool in there. And you know what, if we can drain a sunroof, we can sure drain a handle. But these are really nice ergonomic handles, and you can step on the tire or the door sill and use this handle to help you get on the roof to get your family's luggage off the roof. So that is a really, really cool feature. So let's lock this thing back up. There, just give it a little turn and it's solid again. Coming around the back, we've got some reflectors right here to match the amber ones in the front. Just the glossy wheel arches look great, and I'm sure the black kind of helps this look a little bit less dirty. LED side markers that are integrated into the taillights, they look really, really good. Parking sensors all the way around, as you would expect. This cool matte black plastic piece right here, and both of these have the metallic pearl in them, which is kind of interesting. If you look really closely, they're sparkly with the gold and red on the matte. All right, we talked a little bit about the back door because it's such a great back door. Parking sensors, again, all the way around. Reverse lights, way down low. Really clean exhaust. Like everything under this car is really clean and well done. Let's open the hatch real quick. One interesting thing about the hatch is these struts have almost no leverage. So they must be incredibly strong. They're pointing literally straight up and down at full open. So I'm very impressed by that. Another thing is the Hyundai grille is brought back into the interior plastic as well. And back here, you just have everything you could ever want. So pull the strap to drop the back seats, just give them a throw, and obviously pull on the strap again to put them back. Power for their second row right there, just push the button, push it again to bring them back. And over here, we've got a 12-volt accessory outlet, USB-C for each person. Oop, that seat's moved too far. The passenger side rear seat has all the controls, including AC, temp, fan, USB-C again, and 115. It's a, I want to call it 110, 120, but 115 volt outlet right there for accessories. And of course, if you're in full cargo hauling mode like this, you might want to cover the back up. Well, in the sub trunk here is a pull-out cover that pops in where the seats would normally be and lets you cover the back of this thing up. So you also have a jack and maybe an inflator right there, but plenty of room in the sub trunk, and the subwoofer is also right there. This is the Bose system. It's got a ton of speakers and it sounds very adequate. It's no Burmester high-end, but it sounds fine. I can't complain. I can't say the mid bass is powerful enough. I can't say it plays low enough, but it does everything well enough that I want to own it. So that's saying a lot right there. It's not a terrible system by any means. You also have latch back here for car seats, and if you lift up on these, you can set the angle. So you can recline the back seats, which is always nice for your passengers. Obviously, it looks great, it performs well, but let's get in here and start talking about the technology, the interior, where this thing really, really shines. As far as I'm concerned, this is everything you're getting in a $100,000+ S-Class for just $48,000. This is the highest trim level, the calligraphy, and it's perfect. I mean, it's really only missing a few options that an S-Class has. And I think it does most things, including driving itself, better than a Tesla. So let's get in here and check it out. So we've got really nice carpeted Santa Fe floor mats. I like the texture on them. They don't show that much dirt. Obviously my shoes are dirty from walking around in the shop, just a little bit dusty, and these floor mats don't seem to show that very much. Just a quick look at the seats here. They're a really nice white textile with the H from the grille and the rear hatch embroidered in the seat. They look great, feel great, supportive. It's just a perfect seat. But the driver's position here is where this thing really shines. So let's just get into it. Over here on the door, it's really cool. The seat moves back for entry every single time you open and close the door. And when you open the doors, these little lights that you can't see when they're not on, it's actually a brushed finish, but they disappear when the doors aren't open. So you got seat memories right there. They look nice. Door handles, great, ergonomic, door pull is great. The controls, very simple, left, right, mirror, power folding, locks, the 4 power window controls right there, and of course, the child lock for the back seat there. I guess it has to be on to activate that. Look at the lights fading out. So we're actually gonna go ahead and fire this thing up and then talk about it a little bit. So to fire it up, just hit the start button. Really nice animations as it starts up. It lets you pick your drivers. I'm not 100% sure, but I think this is the fingerprint reader. I pulled up the manual real quick. It is the fingerprint reader. That allows you to create different profiles for every driver. So if you have like 4 drivers, everybody can enroll a fingerprint, maybe this thumb, and when you get in, you just touch it on the dash right there, and the car reconfigures itself to you. So that's not uploaded to the cloud or anything. You don't have to worry about that. This is all stored locally, and it's really no big deal. It's just like your old Touch ID on your iPhone or whatever phone you have currently that might have a fingerprint sensor still, but in your laptop. Basically everything. It's just an easy way to recognize the next driver. Stick your finger up there and you get all of your seat settings, all of your media settings, climate settings. It's just a quick way to recall everything in the car. And it's super nice. I mean, it's always on you. Your fingerprint, it's always there. So you could have multiple keys, but if you have more drivers than keys, instead of tying a key to a driver, just use a fingerprint. And of course, when it starts up, you can switch profiles on the screen as well. And I bet you can probably lock them. That's pretty cool. All right, over here on the driver's side, let's take a look at the controls. We've got the electronic parking brake dash illumination, hold to open the rear hatch, and of course, traction control off right there. Fingerprint sensor as we go up. The beautiful cluster that really just absolutely nails it. I even love the 0.8 when it's at 800 RPM right there. So really good displays for all of the ADAS, a beautiful heads-up display that you can just barely see sticking out right there. It shows the lanes, it shows your blind spots, it shows the speed limit, it shows upcoming signs like yield, stop, anything like that. And also if it's changing lanes, they're all in that very high resolution heads-up display that this does not want to focus on. The steering wheel looks really good. It's white, it has these big bulky control blocks, but honestly they're not in your way at all. They work great. Paddle shifters for that 8-speed dual clutch transmission right there. And then this is the smart cruise control button that takes over. It drives, holds the speed, adaptive cruise, and it's supposed to automatically adjust for speed limit changes as well. I hate it when it does that, and it seems to not be working, which I'm very happy about. This is your control for the page you're looking at. Here's your cruise control, resume, pause, speed, and then this lets you scroll through the menus here as well. And that's auto steer, and that is your follow distance. Over here, the mode button's programmable, the favorites button is programmable. This lets you control all the media stuff, Siri, voice controls built into the car, Google, whatever voice assistant you use, and also push to mute, volume, and your answer and hang up button for the phone. So everything for media right there, easy to use. Everything for ADAS right there, easy to use. Auto lights, auto high beams, everything you would expect on that stock right there. Turn signals works like you would expect. Auto wipers, the rear wiper controls, all of that is right there on that stock. And of course the shifter is this thing hanging out down here, which is like a new version of the BMW electronic shifter. So put your foot on the brake, turn it forward to go forward, turn it backwards to go backwards, push on the end to put it in park, and if you need neutral, just bump it up a notch. Super easy to use. The eye monitoring camera is right there. You can see the lights flashing where it's illuminating your face and looking right through the middle. I've done a lot of testing with this, covering it up, and eventually it does get mad and stop driving the car for you, but you have a lot of leeway with this camera, and I'm a big fan of it. Now, we could probably spend an entire day in the infotainment here. It's crazy good. I can't say enough good things about it. Here's your profile switching right here. I think you can jump over here and switch drivers, change user, take a look at that. It shows the media down there all the time in that little window in window. You've got your icon for the driver, name for the driver. Of course, you can start it from your phone, unlock it from your phone. This thing can also use NFC keys, just like a Tesla. And I think you put them right there on the Qi charger if you need to drive the car with just a credit card. You don't have to have the key with you. We'll get back up here in a second, but let's finish talking about this lower center console here. 2 USB-C ports. You can set it to charge and data. Wow, it even changes the color inside it, or just charging. The UVC disinfectant button, which is hilarious. This is a UVC light that's inside this console. So you put your device, phone, keys, whatever it is, inside here, close this, and if it's not closed, it doesn't work. It just tells you no. And then you close it, push the button again, and it turns on, and it disinfects whatever is inside this compartment, which is kind of cool. I mean, I'll probably never use that once in my life, but it's cool to know it's there. It's one of those things like, why is it there? I don't know, but it's cool to know it exists. The Qi chargers have really cool status lights on this. I like the way they did that. Auto hold, love having that on. Drive mode, up, down, you can flip through them super easily. Auto start, stop, on, off is right there. And there's your hill descent control, parking cameras, and parking sensors. The climate here is actually I think a capacitive touch screen, but it's not a screen, it's just LED backlit icons. So it's not an LCD or anything like that. You can always see these icons, and they work great. Some people will be upset that they're not actual buttons. I think it's perfect. I can't say enough good things about it. Heated steering wheel has a button, look at that. Oh, there's animations. That's a screen. That's a real LCD screen. I didn't realize that. Okay, well, I like it even more now. It is a screen. I take back everything I said. Auto climate with fan speed control, which is perfect. Oh, take a look at that. That's how it should be right there. And of course, push for sync. And if you've got dual zone climate control, if you need that too, along with the rear zone climate, and you can hit that button and control the rear zone. Take a look at that. All right, media controls, volume, home, map, search, but I mean, it's self-explanatory. They say what they are. And you don't ever need any of these buttons because they are all covered up here in the touchscreen as well. But if you want them, you've got a tune dial and you got a volume dial, and you can use either volume dial. They're both excellent. Underneath all of this, we have excellent cup holders. They hold giant bottles, so they're absolutely perfect. We have the huge center console that flips up. It's lighted. It's got a compartment you can pull out, and then it's incredibly deep. It's like 2 foot deep right there, 24 inches deep almost. And you could put anything you want in there, but also the rear passengers can open it. It's got a flip-flop lid like a Saab, old Mercedes. A bunch of cars have had these flip-flop lids, and they're honestly very convenient. Not only that, but there's a tray that pulls out of the bottom of this console towards the back for more storage. It's underneath that tray we just picked up, and it slides out. It's all one giant console though. Underneath the console, you have unlimited storage there, 12-volt outlet hiding down there, but just so much room under the console for purses, snacks, whatever it is. You can throw it all underneath there and keep your Qi chargers free. Obviously, dual Qi chargers, if I didn't mention it. One for the driver and the passenger. Back to the infotainment. It's really, really, really good. Look how responsive it is. That's unbelievable. Look how fast all of... Oh, you're kidding me. We don't have a Doppler radar provider apparently, but that is insanely sick. You can get the radar from the radio instead of like XM nav traffic. Super, super cool. Anyway, CarPlay, it works great. Don't look at the map because it shows my house, but insanely responsive, works great. Can't say enough good things about that. You know how CarPlay works. Don't look at the map, it shows... But it brings the CarPlay media and art over, really nice. Again, pull down for settings, and it's just perfect. Look at that. You don't want the screen? Shut the screen off. Illumination is on auto currently. You can set your nav volume and everything right here, which is really nice. You don't have to wait until the phone's doing something to adjust it. And also you can turn on and off the cabin talk feature so everyone in the car can hear you. And then quiet mode, I don't know what that is. Oh, it just turns everything down. That's really cool. Man, it's perfect software. Voice memos, if you're into that sort of thing, I don't even know why that's anywhere close to the front of the menu. It's like something nobody ever uses, but they just say it's there because it's a feature, I guess. Seat controls for the rear are right here, which are very cool. You can turn on and off the heated seats in the back. You can also move them, you can recline them and move the bottom cushion up and down. This is the back row. This is not the front row here. And there's the folding controls for those seats as well. So insanely cool. Whether you have to have BlueLink, obviously it comes with free BlueLink if you're buying a calligraphy for 3 years, but you have to set it up first. Valet mode, setup, all the options are in here. It's just pages and pages of options. Really, really well done, all of it. I mean, it's just so fast. Wow, that's cool. Take a look at all these different gauge clusters. So good. Just do the Mustang thing. Oh, that's like the track curbing one right there. And you can link it to your drive mode if you want like sport to be the track curbing one. Okay, this goes on forever. We could spend 3 hours looking at options. It has an option for everything, including colors for the ambient lighting. There's tons of them. If we go to vehicle and then we go to lights, I'll just show you a couple of those really quick. You can also link these to the drive mode, and you can also personalize it to anything you want on the color wheel there. It's perfect, just what you would expect. So we'll set it to purple and get back out of here. Like I said, options on here just go on forever and ever and ever. You can set your one-touch turn signal from 3, 5, and 7. Your welcome lighting when you walk up to it. Auto high beams right there. I mean, this just goes on and on and on and on with absolutely flawless software. So we're not gonna spend a million hours on it like I normally would. All I can say is it's some of the best software in a car I've ever used, and that is a high compliment. All right, up here we've got a camera mirror in the back. It's really cool. You've got HomeLink underneath it. Look, it shows up on the screen what HomeLink button you pushed. How cool is that? Of course, flip it down and the camera shuts off and it becomes a mirror. And then you also have all your controls here for the camera. Up, down, brightness, all that good stuff. So as you can see, the camera mirror is perfect. The only interesting thing about it is cars seem a little closer than they normally would be in that mirror. People too. Up here, you've got your BlueLink icon, SOS if you're in an emergency, front sunroof open, which is kind of strange. It doesn't have a power sliding cover right there, but the rear one does. So here's the rear one closing, and then this one, you gotta close it by hand. Obviously, you can open it with the sunroof, like any old sunroof, and it's got vent and auto open, everything you'd expect right there. Interior lights on, reading lights on, the door light override is right there, and of course reading lights for the passenger. The sun visors are excellent, slide, turn, tilt, whatever you want, and of course mirror and LED lights. And when you close the mirror, when you close the sun visor, it pushes on the button and shuts the light back off for you. Take a look at that. Over here on the passenger side, we also have a little shelf in here, which is really nice if you need to throw a phone or keys or something in there, and a giant glove box underneath that. All of that works really well, and that's basically the entire front cabin. I do want to talk about this real quick before we jump out. It has this nature mode here where you have nature sounds. And Bose center point right there too. This is the Bose system. Like I said, it sounds good. Okay, that's all we need of that. Bluetooth audio, playback from USB, HD radio, AM, the nature sounds, and also Amazon Music and SiriusXM are built in, so it's got everything you could want from a media perspective, and it does it all really, really well. The Bose system has something like 10 speakers, which entertains your passengers in the back just as well as everybody in the front. Door speakers here, and some speakers in the pillar right beside your head, and they sound great. All right, speaking of these back seats, you've got vents here with the little H like you have in the front grille right there. the little hook for bags, purses, whatever you want to put right there. Storage right there, of course. Here's that pull-out compartment that I told you about. Look at that. So nice. It's on like proper rails, USB-C ports in the back of the seats. And these seats, you can control them from the touchscreen like I showed you, or you have your own controls right there. And you also have this button. And once it unlocks, these are spring-loaded rails, so you can put this seat wherever you want it. Not only that, but if you want to get in the back quickly, you push this button, and it folds itself up as fast as possible, so you can crawl through here to get in the back seat instead of going through the middle if you want. These seats are crazy comfy, tons of leg room, and these are ratcheting. So if the seat back is in a different position, like you're laid back, you can actually lay pretty much all the way back here. We actually need to go back up to the front and talk about one more feature. But if you're in here and it's just 4 people on a road trip, you've got like nap mode here. You can lay all the way back and you can adjust your armrest so it fits the lean. Obviously, everyone in here has their own sunroof, so you can look at the sky since it has that giant dual pane pano. It works great. It doesn't open, but you know, you can get some sunlight back here if you want. Back legroom is fine for me. Maybe if you're taller, you need to be in the second row, but the third row is super usable. Obviously, if you've got little kids, the third row is perfect. And if you only have 4 people in your family, well, you got a ton of storage back there when you flip those seats down. So you can kind of go on with the ergonomics back here, how the back seats are perfect, how everybody has their own USB ports, how everybody has 2 cup holders. But that's really all we need to cover. Let's just say it's perfect. Now, there's one more thing in here that blows my mind. Every time I do it, you sit in this seat and you push this button here, and this seat goes into 0 gravity mode and rolls out a leg rest. So if you need to take a nap in your car on lunch or something like that, well, you have this perfect seating position. And for some reason, the car lets you drive in this position too. I did test it. I figured it would say vehicle cannot be put in drive, but nope, it sure can. I saved myself a memory so it could recall back to a normal driving position there. You can also control the leg rest right there if you need to. You probably won't be using that while driving, but it does support your calves. I should also mention the wheel is tilt telescope, but it's manual. It's not full power. But then again, everything in here is exactly what you need and nothing that you don't. So that was a tour of the 2024 Santa Fe. Let's jump in this thing and get it out on the road. Take it for a spin. Okay, go in the garage. You can do it, I believe in you. Go in the garage. Go in the garage. Keep going. I believe in you. Round 2, leave the garage. No way. It added some steering input. Good job, Santa Fe. I feel like I need to like tap it on the hood. I mean, it was doing good until it gave up there. It's just so sick.
How is it so cheap?
It's so cheap, dude. All right, guys, apparently we're heading straight to Mexico. The only thing she cares about is how fast it is to 60. So here we go, full stop. I'll put my head back. Send it.
You're right.
Oh, the engine's off, so you're gonna have to wait. Okay, there you go. Little tire spin, just a little bit.
Honestly.
And there's 50, and there's 60.
62.
It's super quick for what it is. I cannot say enough. What's your take on it?
That was like 5 seconds.
Is it? Yeah, it's fast.
I mean, but in the first second,
SUV.
it's like, what am I? It doesn't know what it's thinking.
Yeah, well, it has to start the engine.
Yeah, you should have shut
boost.
that off.
Yeah, we should have shut off.
I don't know how to do that.
Well, that's fine. Honestly, I've been driving it with auto start stop on all day and it hasn't bothered me. But if you ever don't want it, you just touch the button and it stops turning the engine off.
I see. What are these drive modes?
There's only 2 drive modes in reality. There's normal and sport. I put it in sport for you to launch it. And then there's another one called My, where you can set everything up for yourself. One thing you want to do is just turn that on. Now you can let go of the wheel. It's already good. And then if you turn this on, you get adaptive cruise, plus it's self-driving.
So I can take my foot off.
Yep, don't touch anything and just let it go down the road.
Is it going to yell at me?
It will eventually say, keep your hands on the wheel.
What if I look away?
If you look away, it will shut off all the aids. it'll just say like all driving assistance disabled. See?
Oh.
There you go.
Keep your eyes on the road
It's
and
already,
drive safely.
Already limited. Yep. Okay, so when it asks you to touch the wheel, unlike a Tesla where you have to like go like that, on this you can just go like that and it's like, yeah, you touched it. It's really nice.
The old college try.
The old, yeah. Very unobtrusive. I think excellent driver aids, but what do you think? What's your take?
It looks like iRobot.
Does it?
That's what it reminds me of.
Kind of does look like iRobot.
What, that Audi concept?
Yeah, where the steering wheel can disappear.
Yeah. That's what I think it looks like. I mean, it's comfortable. I'll give you that. I have space for both of my phones. I can appreciate that. Not sure what this button means.
Work phone, personal phone. That lets you switch between data and USB slow charge, I assume, or charge only, which is really nice.
How do you mean data?
Like CarPlay and all the other USB data that you normally have, it shuts off the data, so you just have charging. I guess so. People are. Is this your? Are you doing a moose?
It's got some roll.
You doing a moose test? I will say, like, the one thing about the driving dynamics is that it does have some roll, but it's not supposed to be a sports car. It's a very, very affordable family car. So I will give it, you know, a whole lot of leeway for having a little bit of body roll. It's no race car, but it's actually really quick for what it is.
We're going through the cemetery, folks.
Gotta hold your breath, I guess. I'm not into that whole superstition thing. I'm not superstitious. I'm only a little stitious. All right, what do you think? Is this your next family car or not? Specifically this one, which I think you should buy immediately.
Well, green is my favorite color, so it's got that going for it. Here we go.
Okay. Now you're buying it.
Don't watch this video, folks at the Hyundai dealer.
That actually wasn't bad.
It's so quick. And the thing is, it's not meant to be a dragster. It's not meant to launch, but from a roll, when you're like merging,
yeah,
it's always you have way more than, yeah.
I'll give you that. It's my favorite color. 2 children, and the white interior is probably not well advised.
I'm assuming this is one of the new like textile materials where you can just wipe all the spills off.
Oh yeah.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
It's cozy.
We can test that.
Yeah.
Let's not.
You can test that. I'll let you do that.
Okay, Project Farm. We can test that.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, it's comfortable. The shifting little thingy.
Yep.
What would you call this?
Shifter.
Something you don't play with doing 70 mile an hour.
Well, naturally. But this is weird. I've never had I mean, it's like a knob, but it's not a knob, right?
Yeah.
Twisting it.
It's literally the BMW shifter turned sideways, where you have to hold the button and then push forward and back. It's just turned sideways.
I mean, our Ram was like that.
Oh yeah, you had the dial shifter on the Ram.
Yeah. You know, so far it's nice.
It doesn't have the scent maker.
Oh.
It does have nature sounds, built-in nature sounds. So just like the BMWs and S-Class.
Is this real wood grain?
It is very real wood grain from the plastic tree. Absolutely.
How's it feel in the back?
Oh, pretty good. Yeah, the no sense thing really ends it for me.
I know. I'm not sure I can do without heated armrests.
Heated armrests are the key for me. Once you've experienced it, you can't go back. So your seats are obviously full power recline and will lay all the way back.
That's impressive.
Third row is nice. Not that I need it.
You might. You never know. You gotta like bring other kids with you. Third row.
Yeah, you don't have children yet.
Nope.
You'll understand one day.
I told you I ordered 2 kids.
Just a little bit small for a road trip car, though.
I don't know. I mean, that seat for me is perfectly
with
comfy.
Kids. With
maybe.
Kids, it's a little bit small for a road trip car.
Why?
Jared wants a Suburban.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
But
fair.
we did just say a real Tahoe Denali Suburban now is $90,000, and this is $48,000 with more features. It does have the it's got the talk thing, perfect blind spot cameras.
That is fun.
Yep. And then of course we have the other really cool thing here. We've got yeah. Now Jared can hear what we're saying, right? If you talk to Jared, he can hear you.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, talk.
Hello, can you hear me?
Okay, that's weird.
Yeah, it moves to the back speakers.
That's weird.
You can hear the echo throughout the car.
Oh, I hear it now.
Yeah, so you don't have to yell at your kids.
Oh, that's thrilling.
We're going 0G. I really don't know why you can drive the car like this, but this is my view once we're in 0G. Well, we're back in the Santa Fe after letting my sister drive it. Of course, it's pouring rain now. Hopefully it chills out just a little bit, but Kansas never wants to cooperate. But the most important part of the car to me, of course, is always the ADAS system. The second I get in it, even on this one, I mean, I pulled out of the dealership and hit auto steer because nothing else matters to me in reality. I want the car to drive itself so I can go on these 12-hour-a-day road trips and just have the car take care of everything. And as soon as I did on this, I was blown away. It does everything so well. So let's take a quick look. The car is driving itself right now. In the heads-up display, you can see the steering wheel icon, the cruise control setting, the speed limit, all of that good stuff. You can see it all again right here on the dash. The one thing it can't do, of course, is stop at a red light, and the light just turned red even though there's no traffic for miles. So I had to drive for a second. I did have to take over on the brake there, but it's in auto steer all the time, just like Comma AI. And I love that. I adore that feature more than anything. Once you push the steering wheel button, you can let go just like this, and it will tell you keep your hands on the wheel once in a great while. I think most of it's a combination of how much the road's changing and its certainty of the road and how much attention you're paying because the camera is looking at your face and creating like a percentage of attention the way Comma does it. So this is really, really good. The perfect driving experience. I'm just sitting here. It's going down the road. And if I want to let off the throttle, because right now I have throttle control, I just hit cruise and it takes over completely. So it's absolutely flawless. Take a look at how good this thing does. I can't say enough good things about it. It leaves me alone. It doesn't wheel nag all the time. Unless you stop paying attention, then it wheel nags pretty quick. But as long as your eyes keep covering the road, it's pretty happy with itself. So that's basic auto steer and its cruise control system, which is very good. But when you get out on the highway, it enables highway driving assist. And we're gonna head out on the highway right now and show you guys a quick demo of that because it's really, really, really good too. Almost Super Cruise, Comma level. We're just about to merge onto the highway, but before we do that, I wanna mention two more amazing features. It has a feature called lead car following. And when you pull up to a light, or it pulls up to a light for you, you're in traffic, it slows down, stops, and then it goes into auto hold. Well, a notification pops up on the dash when the car in front of you accelerates and it like beeps to tell you that you should be paying attention and it's time to take off, which is really nice. And then another really nice software feature I noticed that I absolutely loved is auto start stop. A car was in front of me in a drive-thru and I'm stopped and that car took off and the engine went ahead and restarted right then. So it would be ready for me to accelerate because it's always checking to see if there's traffic in front of you. Another good thing is the blind spot cameras. They're so well done. Let's take a look at those. So when you turn on the turn signal, you get the camera, and you turn on the other turn signal, you get the other camera. It's perfect. If you guys remember, they started doing this in like the Honda Civic in 2013, and it was like the clunkiest, worst deal of all time. Not to mention the camera hung off the mirror by like 5 inches. But the Civic implementation was the first one that I know of, and it was bad. And this implementation is fire. Just the software is perfect, top to bottom. So we're out on the highway. We can use highway driving assist. Oh, let's go ahead and set the cruise up where it belongs. It actually wants me to speed up, which I love. Automatically adjusting to posted speed limit. There we go. Oh, perfect. I have the offset set to +10 so it won't complain, even though I'd rather the offset be 9. Anytime you're over the offset, the speed limit dot in the speedometer turns red and the speed limit sign turns red as well. Anyway, you can see HDA, 75 mile an hour, it's full lane keeping, steering, it's rating, the wipers are cranking. The heads-up display looks beautiful, shows us all the traffic around us right there. You can see there's a car in front and to the right, but I'm just sitting here. The 24 Santa Fe is doing all the work, just the way I like it. The same car with these features from GM is a loaded Tahoe Denali, $90,000 to $100,000 minimum to get this car. And Hyundai's like, here, have it for $48,000. I can't say anything better about it. Affordable, perfect software, perfect self-driving, kind of a perfect everything. That's it. Let's take it back to the dealership. Huge thank you to Hatchet Hyundai here in Wichita. They just built a brand new dealership and they have a rack of these things in stock for letting me borrow this. Super happy to drive it. It's unfortunate that I have to get out of the Santa Fe and back into the Maserati. Who's ever said that before? That is it for today, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to head on over to shop.watchjrgo.com for cooler shirts, not like this. And please like, share, subscribe, do whatever you want to do. And I will talk to you next time. I hear every YouTuber on the planet is about to make a review of this thing because it's so good. Everybody wants one. And once you drive it, you're going to want one.